Part 55. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 565. The mini-dragon is here. Only. Yang Yu subconsciously lowered his head and looked at the position where the mini-dragon was fighting, wondering if he had been dazzled just now. When the mini-dragon rushed up, it felt like there was a thin thread flying in the air, and even ticking. Where did the saliva come from? Menina, keep your distance and prepare to follow suit. Nini. The benefits of super-type elves are very obvious. Their sensing ability in elves' battles is often stronger than that of other types of elves. However, they also have an absolute weakness, that is, they will be stretched thin when facing evil-type elves. Now, Menina was not facing an evil elf, but a dragon elf mini-dragon. With Menina's advantage in the elf system, he naturally had to fight at the rhythm he was best at. It's just that this mini-dragon looks like. It's a little different. Why do my eyes still look like stars when playing elf battle? Menina was a little panicked. In the entire Super Gym, there are not hundreds of elf battles, but there are still dozens of battles. Which opponent's elf doesn't look prepared and full of momentum? The mini-dragon is also very powerful, but it is different from other elves. Those elves all wanted to defeat Menina, but there had never been one that seemed to want to eat Menina. The eyes of this mini-dragon, and the drool flowing down. Yang Yu couldn't see clearly, but Mo Nini could see it very clearly. This mini-dragon. I go. At this moment, Menina's dodge action, in the eyes of the mini-dragon, was like a blueberry-flavored ice cream cone running away disobediently. This is for the foodie mini-dragon. Can you bear it? I can't bear it at all. Wouldn't it be nice to just stand there obediently and let the mini-dragon take a bite? Okay, good job. Mini-dragon, get close, get close. Ice cream is waiting for you. Yang Yu is well versed in the way of fighting elves. At this time, he needs to stimulate the fighting power of the mini-dragon. The best way to deal with foodies is, bring out delicious food. Chenjingguan? Ice cream? What the hell? Not only the trainee trainers on the battlefield, but also the trainers around them heard clearly that what Yang Yu was talking about was not an attack move, it was clearly ice cream. What the hell kind of play is this? If this was asked to Yang Yu would definitely answer calmly, this is the most suitable way to play the mini-dragon, and you can't learn it. Mum. The high-pitched voice of the mini-dragon was mixed with a faint chirp sound. At the moment of jumping up, time in the air seemed to have stopped, and the mini-dragon thought of his exquisite move in his mind. One night, fish and dragon dance. The wind is blowing on the battlefield. Dance of dragons. Dance of dragons. Holy shit, the mini-dragon performed dragon dance. How come? The dragon's power is rippling, but what makes Menina a little confused is why he is still drooling in the place where the dragon's power is vaguely excited. Menina, follow suit. Chenjingguan made a prompt decision. The dance of the dragon performed by the mini-dragon was a move that Menina could imitate. His opponent was also young. Such an important move was clearly given for free. Even if the mini-dragon performed the dance of the dragon, Menina successfully imitated it. That's still on the same level. Unfortunately. Is the dragon dance of the mini-dragon so easy to imitate? Even the Salted Fish King who originally mastered dragon dance couldn't learn it, so he could master its essence just by imitating it? Dream. Mini-dragons, foodie's general attack. The speed of the foodie is a new speed of the ship that Menina has never seen before. Mum. It's too late for Menina to use telekinesis, but she can still use another move. Take over. In other words, find a taker. Menina can use the baton to replace himself in battle, and at the same time summon his partners, and he can also pass his own status to the baton. Such as parasitic seeds, such as chaos and so on. The mini-dragon did not impose a status on Menina, so this time Menina was not looking for a pure taker, but a punching bag who came to take over temporarily. Natural bird. Chen Jingwen's expression changed. Menina's baton would actually be used at this time. This was not what Chen Jingwen wanted. However, Menina doesn't want the mini dragon that wants to have a blueberry ice cream cone, that starry eye of a foodie, and that mouth that is still dripping with saliva. Choo choo choo. The natural bird that suddenly appeared on the scene was confused. Wasn't it sitting peacefully in the poke ball? Why did it suddenly appear on the scene? What happened? At this time, Mini Dragon suddenly discovered that the previous blueberry-flavored ice cream cone was missing, and another one appeared instead. Matcha by a large margin. The natural bird, whose eyes were blurred and had not yet figured out the situation, could not have imagined that the moment it came out, a mini greedy dragon that had been activated with Dragon Dance was attacking in its direction. Me. 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 Chirp chirp chirp. With the intimate blow, the large natural bird of matcha felt like a piece of mung bean cake that had been beaten, changing from a round shape to a flat shape, and flew out uncontrollably. Who I am? Where am I? I can actually fly. Wait, why do you feel like there is drool on you? Chirp chirp, I'm getting dirty. The natural bird flew out before it could react, instantly losing its combat effectiveness. Chen Jingwen. What evil had he done to let Menina play first? Even if Menina hasn't mastered the fairy-type moves yet, she should still have an advantage against the mini dragon, but why does she feel like something's not quite right? Chen Jingwen looked at the natural bird that suddenly appeared and his eyes were spinning, and he didn't know what to say for a moment. Menina fought the first battle and used the baton to exchange elves at the same time. This was originally an excellent play method of Chen Jingwen, but, how could it not be effective against the mini dragon? This is the rhythm. Let's go back and eat big ice cream. Yang Yu's eyes lit up. This wave of attacks by the mini dragon was beyond his expectation. It looked very fierce, as if. It's the same feeling as when a mini dragon rushes in from a distance. The thief has momentum. No, we can't go on like this. Menina's routine failed. We can't send it on the second time. Then it's the only one left. Chen Jingwen made a decision quickly, his eyes brightened again, and at the same time, he took out another poke ball from his waist. Come out, coconut tree. Coconut egg. The elves made a powerful sound in the battlefield. The coconut egg tree is quite a powerful spirit. This is. The mini dragon's sparkling eyes changed dramatically and quickly from matcha. Ding. Ding. The picture freezes. Green coconut juice from South Sea Island. Keep asking for votes. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiao. Chapter 566. How did you deal with coconuts in the first place? The mini dragon raised its head slightly, chirped, blinked twice, and seemed to have thought of it. Of course you have to knock the coconut off the coconut tree first. However, this coconut egg tree looks a bit unusual. Instead of coconuts, it grows eggs. 1 2 3 4. The mini dragon's tail clicks like a pug begging for food, and it has found something particularly delicious. So many eggs. How many delicious ice creams can you make by picking them off? Chiliu. The eggs that I was beating when making ice cream were so small that I had to beat several eggs to make it enough for the mini dragon to eat. At this moment, the huge coconut egg like the coconut egg tree in front of me could be eaten for several days, right? The mini dragon foodie style has been fully launched. For more ice cream. Coconut egg tree is not a petite and agile elf like Menina. In the elf battle, it is very stable. Besides, the opponent mini dragon is not an insect elf that is a natural enemy, so it will naturally not be afraid. Coconut, use hypnosis. Chen Jingwen didn't hold back at all. Within this distance, there was no better move than hypnosis. As an elf with both grass and superpowers, Coconut Egg Tree's hypnosis not only had superpowers, but also contained a hint of hypnosis. A grassy sleep powder scent. This also makes the hypnotic effect of the coconut egg tree far more powerful than imagined. Yang Yu didn't bring a pomegranate fruit for his elf, which can relieve sleep during the battle. He had to let the mini-dragon escape from the hypnotic light. Mini-dragon, it's time to show the real, I'm going. Yang Yu's voice stopped suddenly. Something was wrong with the mini-dragon at this time. There seemed to be a faint coconut fragrance floating around, which seemed to confuse the mini-dragon for a moment. Then, there were circles of hypnotic light. Let the mini-dragon be tricked. It's too late. The mini-dragon fell into sleep. Even Dragon Dance can't resist the state of sleep. If this person doesn't change the elf, the mini-dragon will be in vain. The telekinesis or stepping behind the coconut egg tree can make the mini-dragon drink a pot. If it doesn't wake up, it will be killed in its sleep. It must be the confusing effect of the coconut scent of the coconut egg tree. This can attract the attention of the elves. If you use hypnosis like this, the effect will be even better. When I was fighting with this gym's intern trainer, the elf was inexplicably hit. It's all because of this coconut scent. What to do next? Change the elf. From Yang Xiao's position, he could clearly hear the conversations of the trainers around him. It was indeed said in the basic tutorial on elf battle that if the elf falls into sleep and there are no Sci-fi fruits, the best way is to exchange the elf. Unless that elf is as durable as Kirby. Only. If the elf in Brother Yang Yu's elf ball summons the salted fish king, will it scare many people? Also, Brother Yang Yu has no intention of exchanging elves now, which means there is no need to exchange. Yang Xiao's mind soon became as clear as a bright mirror. These trainers around. Humph, how could he be as powerful as her brother Yang Yu? Brother, that was the national championship. And he even went to the World Series. He has no intention of changing the elf. The trainers around him know beep. Have they ever won the national championship? Or if the requirements are lower, have you ever participated in a national competition? Yang Xiao pouted. If you can do it, then come on. Brother, come on. Come on, mini dragon. LaRue. Yang Yu didn't look very panicked. No matter what, he would definitely win the entire game. The appearance of the mini-dragon had a very obvious training meaning. Mini-dragon's performance is very good, but it would be better if it could last longer, but the opponent's hypnosis ruined Yang Yu's plan to train the mini-dragon. Coconut Egg Tree. Charge, now, use Trample, Chen Jingwen gave the attack command. The elf battlefield is not a place that treats opponents with mercy. There is only one goal, and that is to defeat the opponent and win. Coconut Egg. The hurried footsteps of the coconut egg tree rushed towards Chen Jingwen in the direction of Chen Jingwen, with a menacing look. Even the eggs growing on the tree had an extremely ferocious expression. Yang Yu's eyes fell on the mini-dragon. He had no time to think about whether to use the elf ball to take back the mini-dragon, or believe that the mini-dragon could wake up before the coconut egg tree stamping move hits. Suddenly, Yang Yu's eyelids twitched. The mini-dragon moved. With this move, Yang Yu lost the last chance to take back the mini-dragon. The figure of the coconut egg tree was very close at hand. The mini-dragon is finished. He's going to lose. He's too incompetent, can't he even seize the opportunity to take back the elves? What a dish. What's the use of having a mini-dragon? It's not like being killed instantly. Damn rich people, waste money every day. However, the moment Coconut Tree raised his left foot, the voices of all the trainers who had just opened their mouths to criticize Yang Yu's fighting experience suddenly stopped. A blue, purple and white figure suddenly jumped up from the ground. Oh my God! The man who couldn't speak clearly changed his previous tone and let out a shocked sound. Oh my god. The mini dragon actually woke up from hypnosis? Because in the sight of these trainers, most of them could only see the mini dragon leaping from the field, but they did not notice. The mini dragon's eyes are still closed, which means that it is still in a sleeping state, and it still has not got rid of the effect of hypnosis. Coconut egg. The coconut egg tree never expected that the moment it stepped down, a huge white thing seemed to suddenly appear in front of its eyes. What Chen Jingwen couldn't understand was how could the thing making the sound of pain in the venue be a coconut egg tree? Mini dragon, Yang Yu breathed a sigh of relief. He subconsciously thought that the mini dragon had broken out of sleep and got rid of the effect of hypnosis, but Yang Yu found that something was not right. Damn it! Mini dragon eyes. Why is it still closed? At this moment, the frozen scene made almost all the trainers look confused, including Chen Jingwen and Yang Yu on the battlefield. Even the head of the Blue Hall who was paying attention to the duel almost shouted hum. Tick-tock. A drop of crystal saliva dripped straight down from the leaves on the top of the coconut palm tree, directly to the ground. The mini dragon is sleepwalking? When did this kind of thing happen? Sleepwalking and fighting elves, do you think you can talk in your sleep? Looking at the scene in front of him, Yang Yu was both happy and wanted to cry. Damn, you don't forget to eat even when you sleep. Looking at the drooling look, could it be that he was dreaming about eating a big meal in his dream? Isn't it? When the mini dragon smelled the coconut fragrance floating in the air, it was already in a state of excitement. Even if it was hypnotized later, it had already started fantasies about eating in its mind. In the mini dragon's dream, it saw a coconut running towards it with legs. Could it be that this delicious food delivered to its door could still let it fly? Mini dragon in sleep. Take one bite? Only. There seems to be something wrong with this taste. I'm on board the train, I'll be home soon. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 567. The mini dragon opened its eyes instantly. The taste in my mouth is different from the one in my dream. Chen Jingwen and Yang Yu would never have imagined that the real reason why the mini dragon woke up immediately from sleep was that the leaves of the coconut egg tree tasted too unpleasant. Coconut egg. When the mini dragon found itself biting the leaves of the coconut egg tree and hanging down at the same time, it seemed to have returned to the time when it was hung on the neck of the tropical dragon. The mini dragon's eyes felt a little nostalgic. The tropical fruits on the neck of the tropical dragon tasted good, but now the leaves of the coconut egg tree are difficult to chew, not fresh, not juicy, and dry. Without contrast, there is no harm. Feeling the pain on the leaves and looking at the hanging body of the mini dragon, the coconut egg tree became angry. Damn bastard mini dragon, get off the laborer. The coconut eggs growing under the leaves of the coconut palm tree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in addition to the 4 that the mini dragon saw before, there is also a coconut egg growing at the tail of the coconut palm tree. Even if the 5 coconut eggs have their own independent thoughts, but at this moment, we share the same hatred. The evil mini dragon. Just like a bedbug. Only bedbugs would want to eat coconut trees. What operation was that just now? Why did the mini dragon suddenly wake up? The coconut egg tree is going berserk. It is angry. Every coconut egg on its body is angry. The mini dragon hangs on the coconut egg tree and bites the leaves of the coconut egg tree. Any elf would be angry if the mini dragon does this, right? Oh my god, that trainer really dared. He didn't take back the mini dragon even in such a dangerous state just now. Could it be that he was using the illusion of hypnosis to deceive the opponent's coconut tree, and then when the coconut tree used trample? Fight back, what a scheming person. What a terrifying trainer. Can the battle between elves be fought like this? 666. The mini-dragon in the venue is biting the leaves of the coconut palm tree. Even if it tastes bad, it will bite it. Now is not the time to be picky. The coconut egg tree shook its head crazily, trying to shake the mini-dragon off its head, but the mini-dragon just bit there and couldn't shake it off. No matter how hard it tried, the mini-dragon still wouldn't let go. I'll give you a dragon. Yang Yu could see it clearly. When the mini-dragon was hanging on the tropical dragon's neck, it was also like this. He refused to let go no matter what he said. Later, it was Yang Yu who reassured and patiently coaxed him. The mini-dragon comes down from the tropical fruit hanging around the neck of the tropical dragon. Coconut egg. In the rage of the coconut egg tree, all the coconut eggs released their strongest superpowers and used telekinesis to tear off the hanging mini-dragon from its body. However, the mini-dragon now not only bites the leaves of the coconut palm tree, but also uses the gap between the coconut palm tree's attacks to wrap its body around the top of the coconut palm tree. At the same time, he was still holding onto another leaf. Come on, let's hurt each other. The coconut egg tree's telepathic attack cannot be used on the mini-dragon in the blind area. The coconut egg tree's biggest weakness is where the mini-dragon is staying at this time, the top of its head. Coconut egg. The coconut palm tree let out a helpless and furious roar. Coconut egg tree. Get rid of the mini-dragon. Chen Jingwen's expression changed drastically. If the battle continues at this pace, coconut egg tree's physical strength will be exhausted by the mini-dragon. Coconut egg. Coconut egg tree also wanted to get rid of this nasty bug-like mini-dragon, but the mini-dragon just stayed in a position where it could not attack, and coconut egg tree had no way to do it. In Yang Yu's eyes, the battle scene at this time seemed to be a scene from the Orange Islands in the animation. In the final battle between Pai Shen and Kuai Long, Pai Shen grabbed the tentacles on Kuai Long's head and completed the victory. Mum. The mini-dragon's physical strength gradually weakened as the coconut egg tree frantically tossed. It already felt that the strength of the leaves in its mouth was getting weaker and weaker. However, there was still a force in its soft body. Support it. In addition to the power of foodies, there is also a belief in the mini-dragon. It has to hold on. In this duel with the coconut egg tree, it must not lose. Mini-dragon, hang on. Yang Yu heard the fragile sound of the mini-dragon. This was the weakest moment he had ever heard the voice of the mini-dragon. Therefore, Yang Yu must use the greatest encouragement to help the mini-dragon overcome the difficult confrontation. Poppy. Tijapai and the little dream monster all stopped playing and looked at the mini-dragon that was very thin compared to the coconut egg tree. The mini-dragon still tried its best to bite the leaves of the coconut egg tree. It wanted to win. Play this game. Coconut egg tree. There is no other way, use a strong whip. Knock the mini-dragon off of you. Chen Jingwen's voice was very trembling. He didn't understand at all why coconut egg tree was forced into such a situation by the mini-dragon. You know, the coconut egg tree used hypnosis on the mini-dragon. This is an absolute advantage. But inexplicably, why did the mini-dragon suddenly jump up when the coconut egg tree was trampling? The duration of the hypnotic sleep state is not only that short. Coconut egg. Coconut egg tree endured the last pain, and barely managed to use a vine whip. The vine whip even raised tremblingly. If this move continues, it will not only attack the mini-dragon, but also attack itself at the same time. With such physical strength, coconut egg tree may not be able to withstand this move. But coconut egg tree had no other options. This is the last hope to escape the torment of the mini-dragon. Mini-dragon. Get out of the way. The moment Yang Yu called out the name of the mini-dragon, the trembling vine whip finally struck his forehead under the instruction of coconut egg tree. Snapped. As the body of the coconut egg tree fell uncontrollably, the mini-dragon above the coconut egg tree also flew out at the same time. The place was extremely silent. This scene. Who wins? Who is responsible? The coconut egg tree has lost its ability to fight? Mini-dragon. 3, 2, 1. Suddenly, I saw the mini-dragon's mouth move, and it vaguely seemed to spit out something. It was green and very unpalatable. Me. Win. The mini-dragon is moving. Oh my god, you can win this. Even if this game is a draw, in the end the coconut egg tree has no physical strength at all, and it doesn't even move. The mini-dragon moves, even if it only spits out a small leaf from its mouth. Yang Yu closed his eyes and swallowed deeply. Well done, Snack Foodie. Asking for votes. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 568. He is Yang Yu, the individual champion of the national competition. By the way, why am I so stupid? That Tijipai was obtained as a reward from Yang Yu's individual competition champion's elf egg. The mini-dragon game is over. Yang Yu breathed a sigh of relief. The mini-dragon's performance had exceeded his imagination. The rest could be left to Xiao Baobao. Originally, Yang Yu wanted to let Little Dream Demon or Tijipai continue to play, but now, he wants to go back and feed the mini-dragon. This is the reward a mini-dragon deserves. Ho ho ho. The small one was beaten, and the big one came? If it weren't for the fact that there is no such type of Gyarados in the evolution of mini-dragon, the appearance of Gyarados would really be like the elder of mini-dragon. In any case, he should beat the opponent first. This is probably the most confusing moment in the life of Chen Jingguan, the gym's intern trainer. The mini-dragon suddenly turned into a Gyarados dozens of times the size. What's wrong with it? When the surrounding trainers realized that the person on the field seemed to be somewhat similar to Yang, the champion of the national competition individual competition, Yang Yu had already brought Yang Xiao back to the super tower. Me. With the super tower sloking around, it took almost just a snap of his fingers for the mini-dragon to start jumping around, like a loach that got out of the pot. But how could Yang Yu bear to let the mini-dragon take the pot? It was too late to reward it. Yang Yu has already asked Dede to make extra large ice cream. Speaking of which, the ice cream bought outside must be too small for the mini-dragon, so it is better to just ask Dede to make a big one. It's not a day or two before Gengui Laohe comes to the super tower and breaks through the door. For its sudden appearance, the super tower Slow King has become numb. Anyway, no matter what kind of super space, it can't resist the invasion of Gengui Laohe, and it is useless in front of Laohe, so there is only the simplest super energy barrier set up behind it, which can block the wind, rain, etc. Ding dong. The elevator door opened. What immediately appeared from the elevator was a hill taller than Dede, and even the top was almost touching the upper part of the elevator. The cold air radiating around the hill is like fairy clouds hovering around this ice cream hill. The white cream ice cream hill is dotted with fresh, crystal clear strawberries, and there is also a small river of chocolate that flows from the top of the hill along the mountainside. It swirls down and gathers at the foot of the mountain. Dede walked out of the elevator pushing the dining cart. Yeah. Me. The mini-dragon's crystal eyes seemed as if the only thing left in the world around it was the ice cream mountain. Yang Yu even ignored what he was talking to. A reward for you. Blow. Before Yang Yu finished speaking, he saw the mini-dragon that had regained its strength fly out directly. The next second, it was already coiled on the ice cream mountain, motionless. It's all wrong. The mini-dragon didn't even have time to take a bite, but he found himself stuck to the ice cream mountain. The blue-purple starry body seemed to have become the best decoration of the ice cream mountain. Poppy. Tijipai looked at the mountain of ice cream wrapped around the mini-dragon and began to drool. He would not forget how delicious the ice cream would be if it was attached to the mini-dragon. GGG. Gengui Liahe is eager to try. He seems to be able to eat such a big mountain of ice cream in one bite, and then spit out the mini-dragon stuck to the outside of the ice cream like a grape skin. This must feel really good. The mini-dragon felt something was wrong. It seemed to have seen several pairs of eyes that were greedy for its body. Me. 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 Yeah, boom. Fortunately, there was more than just one ice cream mountain prepared by Dai Dai. Two Dai Dai hippo chefs followed him, and there were two ice cream mountains of similar size on the dining cart he was pushing. Gengui is old and black, and the rest is for the Super Tower Slow King and other elves. Xiao Yu, let's eat too. This is an ice cream mountain that is bigger than Dede. With this amount, it is absolutely enjoyable to eat. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao held shovels directly in their hands and shoveled back and forth against the ice cream mountain entangled with the mini-dragon. Aha! The mini-dragon is in tears, bad silver, all bad silver. Yang Yu looked at the motionless mini-dragon frozen on the ice cream mountain, sighed, and handed the ice cream snow shoveled down to the mini-dragon's mouth. Greedy little fool! Can't you just wait a moment? At this time, the mini-dragon is almost like the frozen chocolate on the ice cream mountain. If it is taken off, it will be in the shape of a circle, somewhat like mosquito coils. But wait a minute, it won't be a mini-dragon. It's really a headache. The pace of life in the Magic City has basically begun to become regular. Every morning at about 7 o'clock, I get up with Laralus, and then, under the leadership of the Super Tower Slow King, I exercise in a special super venue. It is said to be a training venue, but it is more like a miniature amusement park field. Suitable for small elves like Laralus. By the way, Tijipai can also play in this venue, but unfortunately the little dream monster can't. There are slides and a carousel in this venue. Super Tower Slow King specially prepared a very shallow pool with a constant water temperature. Tijipai and Laralus can play in the water. Little Dream Demon and Ghost Stone could only stare at Laralus and Tijipai playing. The gas elf burst into tears. The weather in the Magic City has always been very hot. Yang Yu thought about taking Yang Xiao out to play, but he was quickly defeated by the weather. Thinking of going to the Western Tibet area in the future, Yang Xiao calmly started doing his summer homework in the Super Energy Tower. Write an 800-word Chinese composition and read the English introduction of the Super Tower. Descriptions of the Super Tower and the Ghost Tower often appear in books. Now is the time when Yang Xiao is among them, so he can have a better experience and understanding. Yang Yu's arrangement is even simpler. Hit the gym. Play the Super type gym for one day, and play the Ghost type gym next door for one day, and both will bloom. When the time comes, go back to the school and ask the principal if he can get 2 challenge gym scholarships. Thinking of this, Yang Yu often thinks about a question in his mind. Why aren't all gyms built in the same city? It's so troublesome running around here and there. Making money is really hard. During a thunderstorm, Yang Yu still took advantage of this opportunity to summon the Salted Fish King once, and at the same time, he also summoned the Great Beauty. The figure of the Salted Fish King shuttled back and forth among the thunderstorm clouds, with absolute admiration in the beautiful eyes. This is the unique Salted Fish King. Yang Yu has not forgotten the agreement he made with little Reggie Rock, so he will naturally not keep it in the pokeball all the time. However, the special nature of Reggie's little fist rock stone allows him to hide it from the Super Tower Slow King. But Gengui Liahe. Even though little Reggie Lock's little fist stone covered him perfectly, Jengar Liahe still felt that it had a familiar feeling, and he didn't know if he had met it somewhere before. Gengui Liahe originally wanted to carefully study the origin of Yang Yu's small fist stone, but there was an important matter with Geng Lao-san in the Ghost Tower, and he had to keep a close eye on the Ghost intranet. Recently, the domestic ghost intranet seems to have felt some undercurrents on the internet. Gengui Liahe needs to work with the Metagross in Yanjing to stabilize the network security of the internal and external networks. It's interesting, this intranet ghost force belongs to that giant Jengar, right? It seems that in reality, they also want to find some clues about me, but now they are on the internet, they want to find my location, then let's give it a try. At this time, in the living room of a room on the 27th floor of the super tower, the fluorescence of the screen was faintly flickering. At this moment, Reggie Little Quan Lok touched his chin, and inside the shell, the orange beads lit up in order. On the internet, strike hard. You would never think that we have actually met before. A little dream monster floated out with a smile, and there were two small tiger teeth shining brightly under the fluorescent light of the screen on both sides of its mouth. Little Reggie Locke blinked. You can't tell your master that the person he is chasing on the internet is actually me. Asking for votes every day. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 569. Little Reggie Locke was typing on the keyboard at such a speed that the little dream demon couldn't quite understand what he typed. However, there was a small map in the upper right corner of the computer. On the mini-map, there is a moving green dot, surrounded by a group of red dots. Especially one of the larger red dots, little Reggie Locke made a pattern of Jengar, which is little dream demon's master Jengar Laohe. Just look at this little dream monster and you will understand. It turns out that Master Jengar Laohe is catching little Reggie Locke on the internet. Looks like a lot of fun. Hey, the little dream demon wants to play too. Hey, don't move yet. It won't be fun if your master catches you. Little Reggie Locke quickly stopped the little dream demon from pressing the keyboard. Wait for me to run away first, and then I can for you to play with. The little dream demon thought for a moment and concluded the deal. Originally, the little dream monster had nothing to do at night, but I didn't expect to find out an interesting secret today. Little Reggie Locke seems to be very good at playing. Even the master and his subordinates can't seem to catch him in the elf intranet. Little Reggie Locke. Watch how I get rid of them. As a core of wisdom, little Reggie Locke has learning and acceptance abilities that are unmatched by the core of power, and the core of power is a reckless man, somewhat similar to Thor and Loki. In terms of concealing his position, little Reggie Locke believes that he has absolute strength. Otherwise, it would have been discovered by the Elf Alliance on the central island of the world, and it would not have appeared until now. The little dream monster opened his big eyes and swayed his little body on the side. The game on the computer where Master Jengar chases little Reggie Locke looks very exciting. If the internet is an invisible network with its own paths of interaction, then little Reggie Locke and Jengar Old Black are just cars speeding on these roads. The former is on the run, and the latter is carrying a group of ghosts are chasing you. Ghost Tower. Click. Gengui Liahe bit the lollipop in his mouth and pointed angrily at the light spot in front of him that represented little Reggie Locke. This light spot had been provoking Gengui Liahe's nerves. In the entire ghost intranet, he is the unique king. Even if Metagross enters the intranet in person, he must be polite. There has been an undercurrent surging in the intranet recently, related to a major incident involving thieves stealing elven super evolution stones and preparing to trade them. Jengar Liahe has been staring at the intranet, trying to find some clues so that he can investigate all the thieves. Give a specific location. This matter is very secretive and important at the same time. Even Metagross needs to make a comprehensive deployment on the external network and join forces with Gengui Liahe to catch the thieves. Gengui Liahe suspected that this extremely suspicious and provocative light spot was the arrogant super evolution stone thief. If he wanted to divert the tiger away from the mountain, Gengui Liahe would use his plan, because there was an external network protection from Metagross outside. Chasing his grandma. Gengui Liahe put the remaining lollipops into his mouth again, and at the same time, he tilted the corners of his mouth, showing an evil and ferocious smile. He had not been so angry for a long time, and he wanted to personally go on stage to locate and arrest the suspects on the intranet. Catch. Come on. Crackling, crackling. If you win, your parents are still alive. If you lose, your family tree will ascend to heaven. It's time to show off your true keyboard warrior skills. Super Tower. At this time, little Reggie Locke held his breath. This wave of Jengar Lahaye's pursuit was a bit ridiculous. In the entire intranet, whether it was the virtual ghost shadow bullet or the ghost stone shadow claw, as long as it hit little Lay with Jilok's light spot, there will be network traps that will follow. This is Jengar Lahaye's home ground. I'm not a vegetarian, I'm a stone eater. Little Reggie Locke typed a series of self-created codes on the keyboard. This was something he played with when he was bored on the island in the center of the world. She blocks the opponent's network, causing bursts of lag. Especially suitable for team fights, it can even make opponents offline. The most glorious battle that Reggie Locke ever had was when 5 of his opponents were stuck and disconnected at the same time, and he effortlessly won the silver promotion tournament. Click, click, click. The appearance of virtual gravel quickly blocked a group of red dots on the mini-map. The little dream demon could see many red dots crowded together, but was unable to break through the obstruction of the gravel. So awesome, so awesome. Ghost Tower. G. G. Silicon Sizzle. In the dark, many ghosts' computers fell into extremely uncomfortable network lag, which was really like a PPT stuck. Many ghosts were confused when they looked at the computer. Gengui Lahaye has no time to teach those ghosts who were tricked. His current goal is to hunt down the light spot with all his strength and find out the actual location of the light spot. G. Gengui Lahaye narrowed his eyes. He had to get serious. His opponent was extremely difficult. Whistle. The rapidly moving light spot had already escaped the first wave of ghosts, but little Reggie Locke still did not relax his vigilance. Something about it felt wrong. Little Reggie Locke clearly felt that today's network is very different from the previous network. Today's intranet even has superpowers. This is clearly the spiritual transmission of Metagross. Metagross will not deliberately appear on the intranet unless something happened. For the first time, little Reggie Locke thought that Metagross appeared to work with Jengar Lahaye to capture its whereabouts on the internet, but after thinking about it carefully, it was wrong. Little Reggie Locke is a good citizen. Great people. In the past few days, little Reggie Locke has done nothing else except playing games by himself, looking at the stock market selling points, exchanging some money for recharge and deducting coins, etc. Is it because he just provoked Gengui Lahaye? No, no, no. Such a sophisticated layout was laid out in the intranet very early. Little Reggie Locke could see this. Even Jengar and Lahaye needed to join forces with Metagross to search for undercurrents in the intranet, which means there seems to be something hidden inside. What a big deal. What is such a big deal that Jengar Lahaye is willing to open up the intranet permissions so that Metagross's spiritual transmission can be extended into the intranet? Reggie Locke's intellectual core was thinking quickly. It guessed at least some. First of all, it is innocent, otherwise Gengui Lahaye would have captured him during these days in the super tower. Secondly, it seems to take the blame for someone or some people. The real target to be captured through the internal and external networks is not little Reggie Locke, but another group of people with hidden and illegal purposes. Little Reggie Locke was unhappy for a moment. God, how can you take the blame for others? It wants to find all the bastards hiding in the intranet. Damn it! Feel the wrath of God. The lucky thieves didn't know that, through a strange combination of circumstances, they had inexplicably offended a little fiststone. Run, run. The little dream demon urged on the side. Master Gengui is coming to catch up. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Shao. Chapter 570. Little Reggie Rock wasn't nervous at all. However, he did not want the battle between himself and Jengar Lahe to affect Metagross external network tracing. After all, it had more important things to do. Pull out those people from the intranet before Gengui Lahe and Metagross. External networks are mainly used in daily life, such as checking information, surfing the internet, chatting and entertainment, etc. These things are managed by Metagross. The use of the intranet is more personal, and it is also the best way to secure transactions between trainers. These things are managed by Jengar Lahe of the Ghost type. According to the rules of network security, only a very small number of things will trigger an alarm on the intranet. This time, the incident about the unearthed and stolen Super Evolution Stone triggered an alarm mechanism on the intranet. Little Reggie Locke quickly set up an anti-ghost wall on the intranet. Speaking of which, this wall itself is ineffective against ghost-type elves, but it is extremely effective against poison-type elves. It is mainly targeted at the ghosts and ghosts that are chasing after them. Ghost Stone, and Jengar. Little Reggie Rock doesn't expect this virtual anti-ghost wall to be able to resist Jengar Lahe for how long. It needs to know something about the situation. Little Dream Demon, do me a favor. I'll give you the authority temporarily. You can ask Rotom on guard over there what the specific situation is and what kind of people your master wants to arrest on the intranet. The little dream monster's small eyes were full of doubts. Isn't it your little Reggie Locke that Master Gengui Lahe wants to capture? Little Reggie Locke quickly explained, I feel like there is a secret here. What your master really wants to arrest is not me, but a few important people in the intranet. Look, they seem to be checking something over there. How about finding them first before your master and giving you the credit? Credit? What credit? Are there any coin deduction rewards? The core of Reggie Locke's wisdom suddenly felt as if he had stopped thinking, as if his wisdom was extinguished. What? Deduct coins? The little dream demon rubbed her hands in anticipation, her little fangs showing at the corners of her mouth in excitement, and the word Q appeared in each of her two black eyes. Little Reggie Locke suddenly felt like he should get to know this friend he was playing with again. Is there any hidden attribute that has not been activated yet? Yes. There must be. Look at your master's large-scale search on the intranet. If you find it first, there will definitely be a big reward. While little Reggie Locke was operating his intranet identity, he was paying attention to the news spread on the intranet. Although the news meant that he was looking for someone, but who exactly were he looking for and why were he looking for those people? Little Reggie Locke still not sure. The little dream demon agreed. When little Reggie Locke saw that little dream demon's identity on the intranet was actually a distinguished V12 member, his head stopped thinking again. Boss, it's a boss. The elf is better than the elf, which makes the elf angry. Little Reggie Locke has worked hard on the island in the center of the world for so many years, earning his own living. Compared with the little dream monster's V12 account, the little wealth he has saved is not even comparable to a hair on his legs. I don't want to work hard anymore. Rich Loli, are you missing some pendants? Rich Loli. Just when little Reggie Locke was a little confused, little dream demon didn't even need to ask, and directly used V12's authority to clearly learn about some information about the people involved in the intranet search. It's really convenient to have my own people in this intranet. A thief in Western Sichuan has a Tyrannosaurus megastone in his hands, intending to trade it with foreign trainer. This megastone is more important than imagined. The little dream monster doesn't know what the megastone means now. It only cares about how many small bucks this megastone can exchange for. Cute little buckle. Probably, you can exchange it for deducted coins that you may never use up in a lifetime. Little Reggie Locke answered subconsciously. At this moment, the little dream demon immediately realized the importance of this thing. A lifetime of deduction coins that can never be used up. That must be turned in. You have to spend the money to be happy, and you can't spend all the money in a lifetime. Then what if the little dream demon is no longer in this world, but there is still a small amount of money left in this world that has not been spent? Ying ying ying. The little dream monster will feel very uncomfortable. Earning small deduction coins is a happy process, and fighting against the bad bankers. If you can defraud a small amount of deduction coins, or receive a small red envelope during the Chinese New Year, it will be a lifetime reward for the little dream monster. Unused deducted coins are much more interesting. Moreover, this is what Master Gengui and the others are looking for. If the little dream demon finds it first and tells the master where it is, will the little dream demon become famous throughout the entire intranet? By the time, can the little dream demon go out to patrol the mountains with a group of ghost elves like Dadu? How majestic! Ying ying ying. My mouth is watering. Little Reggie Lock did not disturb the little dream demon's fantasy. It quickly started its activities. It changed back to its own intranet vest and looked for mice hidden in the intranet. Hey, why not put out some bait? As long as they are caught on the intranet, it is not far to find the specific location in reality. Boss, there is a little fist stone here with a loud voice. This is the information on his internal network. Through our confirmation, he can't deal with Jengar, the ghost internal network, and Metagross, the super external network. He is a ruthless person. Are you sure he's not from over there? Be careful, or you won't die by then. Boss, look. Oh my god, what kind of place is this? There is actually an amber stone from a fossil pterosaur here. Boss, this little punching stone with a loud voice wants to trade with us. Amber stone from a fossilized pterosaur. Boss, there are not only the amber stones of fossilized pterosaurs, but also the fossilized jaws of baby Tyrannosaurus. This is all true. We have analyzed these pictures, and there are no traces of modification. This little guy with a big toe, the fist stone, it wants to use these two things to trade with us. Fossil pterosaur, this person is a bit interesting. When the fossil pterosaur wakes up from the amber stone, my elf strength can even increase a lot in an instant. This is much more effective than any elf coins. This can save my life. Elf. After confirmation, the traces of the picture were completely removed. Yes. Little Reggie Rock gnawed a stone leisurely, and he had already dropped the bait. As for those things, he would not leave any clues that would be detrimental to him. Looking at a suspicious message on the intranet, little Reggie Lock clapped his hands, and little Dream Demon immediately came up to him. Hey. Fish, bite the hook. Alarm. While Metagross was checking the external network, he suddenly sensed a slight movement in the spiritual transmission connected to the internal network, and immediately issued an order to put everyone on alert. Gee. Gengui Liahe finally got rid of the anti-ghost wall. This thing is really annoying. Other ghosts and poisonous elves such as Ghost and Ghost Stone can easily pass this wall. But Jengar Liahe is too fat. If there weren't a group of brats behind him pushing Jengar Liahe hard, otherwise he would have been stuck in the wall and couldn't get through. The internal network alarm sounded, and Gengui Liahe's expression changed rapidly. The intranet location of the suspicious target was discovered. Hey guys, follow me. Gengui Liahe waved his short little hand, and the ghost elves flying in the inner network rushed out from behind a huge hole in the anti-ghost wall, like black crows crossing the border. When the loudmouthed Xiao Quanqi's intranet identity suddenly transformed into a little dream monster, everyone who met the thief on the intranet was confused. What about that arrogant little fist stone? The little dream demon is really awesome now. All hands up. Take away. Caught and brought to justice. It's just that the little dream demon ignored one thing. We are still in the virtual online world, it is not reality. With the little dream monster's ability, he is still very good at playing games, but it is definitely impossible to find the location in reality. Just after the thief turned around and fled, the little dream demon was about to catch up in a hurry and a pair of super-powered handcuffs suddenly appeared in front of the little dream demon. Put your hands up. Take away. The suspect was found, the little dream demon. Little dream demon? The little dream demon was arrested on the intranet, so his position in reality was naturally exposed. Ying ying ying. You have arrested the wrong person. The moment the little dream demon saw her hands being cuffed, she burst into tears. G. Asking for votes. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huo Shao. Chapter 571. Compared with the speed of Metagross instant movement, Gengar Lahe was still a step late. The little dream demon was not only caught in the internal network, but also in reality. Metagross directly confirmed the specific location of the little dream monster through the screen, but this location in reality was a bit weird. Why the hell are you in the super tower? Isn't Gengui Lahe's intranet headquarters in the ghost tower next door? Wokeo. Obviously, the wrong one was caught. Gengar Lahe arrived late, and saw that his poor little disciple was arranged by Metagross using a set of 3 superpowers, Super Handcuffs, Super Lock, and Super Prison. The expression on his face was extremely wonderful. The little dream demon burst into tears immediately. It's so miserable, the little dream demon is really miserable. Master, Master, look. The little dream demon pitifully stretched out his hand in front of Gengui Lahe. Through the thick super prison, the handcuffs emitting purple light on his hand were so dazzling. Gee. Gengui Lahe quickly asked Metagross to remove these big guys. Well, the flood washed away the Dragon King temple. Why is the little dream demon here? I was originally going to be happy today, joining in the fun with little Reggie Locke, catching the little suspects in the intranet, and then waiting for the master to come over to ask for some cute little coin rewards. But. Wow. Blue thin, shiitake mushroom. The little dream demon pointed to the place where she was caught in the intranet, and said a lot of nonsense, just like a child who was wronged. She must wash away her grievances, otherwise, August snow. Gengui Lahe nodded his big head and kept taking snacks from his mouth, handing them to the little dream demon one by one, but the little dream demon didn't want these. It was still sulking and didn't have hundreds of deduction coins. The kind that can't be coaxed. Super Tower. Little Reggie Locke was wondering if he should wake up Yang Yu. The Metagross suddenly used superpowers to kidnap the little dream monster from the other side of the computer screen. He really couldn't react. However, the little dream demon came out quickly as he entered. When he went in, his little hands were handcuffed. When he came out, the handcuffs had been unlocked, and he was still wearing a donut-like ring around his neck. There was also a bite on the donut. The little dream monster bit it. At the same time, he was holding 2 small lollipops on his left and right hands, with a sullen expression on his face. Needless to say, little Reggie Locke understood it. It seemed that the misunderstanding on the intranet was resolved. At the same time, the thief of the Tyrannosaurus Megastone must have left some traces. According to the last traces, Metagross and Gengar Lahe can pinpoint the location where those people last appeared. With the arrival of a wave of transfers on the computer, the little dream monster now has cute little deduction coins to play with. Although it's not much, about 5,000 elf coins, this is the compensation given by Metagross alone to the little dream monster. Although Metagross' job is somewhat similar to that of Gengar Lahe, both of which are managing network security, Metagross does not have the private game gold-making groups like Gengui Lahe. Gengui Lahe didn't expect that the little dream demon could actually get some small money from the old hand of Metagross. After all, This was Genguilaihe's long-cherished wish. Unfortunately, he failed every time. That old Metagross guy is so smart. Although the process has some twists and turns, the ending is still good. Little Reggie Locke breathed a sigh of relief, but before he could fully relax, a round thing suddenly came close to him. Mum. With his eyes closed in the middle of the night, the mini-dragon seemed to smell something sweet. The smell floating in the air was the guide in the mini-dragon's dream. Take one bite and hold it in your mouth. Donut? Little Reggie Locke looked at the lower half of the little dream monster struggling with its hands and feet outside the mini-dragon's mouth. The little dream monster's big head and the donut went into the mini-dragon's mouth. After a while, the mini-dragon spat out the little dream monster in a daze, leaving the donut hanging around the little dream monster's neck in his mouth. Sizzle! A flash of lightning instantly flowed from the little dream demon's fingertips. Mini hand belong, shock your ass. Mum. Little Reggie Locke stretched out his hand and scratched his head. This sleepwalking and eating mini-dragon, it's better to let Yang Yu take it back into the elf ball when the time comes. Looking at this, what should we do when the time comes to grab rocks with it and its little Reggie Locke? Besides, the little dream demon actually masters the power of electricity. This is an incredible discovery. Little Reggie Rock temporarily released the form of the little fist stone and returned to its original appearance. Speaking of electric tricks, little Reggie Locke touched his fists together lightly and put them on his chest. The 7 orange beads on his head flashed rapidly while he pulled his fists apart little by little. A small golden spherical grid slowly formed in little Reggie Locke's fist. Then, as the fist closed little by little, the spherical grid gradually shrunk, and disappeared. It's been a long time since I've used the electromagnetic gun, I'm a little rusty with the use of the magnetic net. Little Reggie Locke returned to the appearance of a small fist stone again, talking to himself, with a little nostalgia in his tone. The little dream monster also wants to conjure a ball like little Reggie Locke, but unfortunately its little hands can only conjure jumping lightning, but it doesn't matter, the tail of the electric mini-dragon is more than enough. Hum 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 hum. Me. 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 The next day, Yang Yu was woken up by the sound of the mini-dragon. When he opened his eyes and woke up, he found that the stupid mini-dragon was biting his own tail. He was still motionless, and there was a burning smell here. Smell. Sure enough, after Yang Yu separated the mini-dragon's head from its tail, he found that the tip of the tail was actually black, and it looked really burnt. Mum. The mini-dragon wanted to raise its head, but for some reason it still couldn't move. It seemed like it was paralyzed, so it could only collapse on the ground, shout for help. The electric scorched tail, and the paralysis effect that makes it impossible to get up. There is no doubt that the culprit is the little dream demon. However, how could the little dream monster use electromagnetic waves to electrocute the tail of the mini-dragon? Also, how could the mini-dragon be so stupid that it even bit its own tail into its mouth? Poppy. Tijipai poked his head out from his sleep, looked left and right, and found a swimming ring hanging on his body. It's delicious, it's donuts. It would be great to have sweet snacks to eat when you wake up. Yang Yu guessed the truth almost immediately. Although he didn't know where the donuts on Tijipai's body came from, it must have something to do with the little dream monster. With the mini-dragon's temperament, I'm afraid he might offend the little dream monster when he is sleepwalking and wants to eat snacks at night. Otherwise, why would the mini-dragon's tail be twisted by electricity? The little dream demon came to Yang Yu with an onion ring in her hand, like a ring, and slowly put it on Yang Yu's finger. Yang Yu smiled and was about to thank him. Suddenly, a blue-purple figure and a mini-dragon with a mostly white body flew up from the ground with a swish. It's delicious, hold it in your mouth. Yang Yu looked at the long mini-dragon hanging on his onion ring finger and shook his finger. The mini-dragon was still hanging there. Ahaha. The little dream demon pointed at the mini-dragon and accused the mini-dragon of the crime last night. That's it, you. Asking for votes. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 572. The time in the super tower seemed to be accelerating, slipping away from the pokeball in Yang Yu's hand. The days of summer vacation were just like a mountain of ice cream at the beginning. There were so many, as the mini-dragon took one bite after another, it's almost bottoming out. Yang Yu picked up the mini-dragon with one hand. This guy stayed on the cart and refused to leave. He insisted on licking all the ice cream clean before he would give up. If a promotional video for Operation Disc had been organized these days, Mini-Dragon would have been able to play the leading role. The physical therapy at the Super Energy Tower is indeed very effective. Both Yang Yu and Yang Xiao have experienced it several times. This feeling can wipe away the fatigue hidden in the whole body and make the whole person look brand new. Especially when you are face to face with a stupid hippopotamus, you don't even have to think about it, you can just be in a daze together. Since the joining of Gourmet Restaurant, many regular customers of Chaeyang Tower have discovered that the catering provided by Chaeyang Tower has even begun to surpass some star hotels. This has once again triggered a craze among citizens to go to Chaeyang Tower for physical therapy. Not to mention that on the first floor of the Super Tower and on both sides of the entrance to the Super Gym, silly creamy vanilla ice cream has begun to be sold. The Super Tower is particularly recommended. For this reason, the Ghost Tower next door also created Black Forest style and gloomy style silly chocolate ice cream, which can be said to have created a black whirlwind in the gym world. Yang Yu takes Yang Xiao to the Super Gym every day to watch the lively elf battles. At the same time, he also helps the mini-dragons choose suitable opponents. Since Yang Yu's name has become famous in the Super Gym, those who often direct the challenges from the side the readers immediately stopped and pointed, they didn't understand what the boss was thinking. Mini-Dragon has super physical therapy to recover every day, and there is plenty of ice cream to eat every day. This is a period of rapid improvement in strength. As long as you can't do it to death, do it to death. The mini-dragon's hard work not only amazed Yang Yu and Yang Xiao, but also the Super Gym leader Lan Zikan was full of praise. Hunger and pain are the best incentives. Larulus followed Yang Xiao to watch every mini-dragon elf battle. The momentum from the mini-dragon led Larulus to work hard for a better super future. Are you ready to leave? This was the last elf battle that Yang Yu had fought. Except for the Super Gym leader, he had challenged all the resident trainers, including the intern trainers. In the challenge record of the Super Gym, Yang Yu's name surpassed Wan Kai's Hu, Zhang Huiyu, and the previous batch of earlier trainers, temporarily reaching the first place. Yes, there are not many days left during the summer vacation. Yang Yu smiled. The Super Gym leader Lan Zikan has a very young mentality, and there is almost no generation gap with Yang Yu. This way, go to the west of Tibet. Pay attention to preparing oxygen bottles. If altitude sickness occurs, stop this plan first. Now that we have the crystal necklace, it can help Larulus better recover his superpowers. The owner of Lan Pavilion gave some details. Okay, no problem. Thank you Master Lan for your hospitality these days. There's no special reception. I've already contacted the Potala Palace through the internet. Helping Larulus recover his super skirt is also a very meaningful thing for me. Gym leader Lan continued, welcome both of you to visit the Super Tower again. Of course, I look forward to playing against you in the Super Gym one day in the future. Yes, Yang Yu said firmly. Goodbye Master Lan. Yang Xiao hugged Larulus and waved goodbye with Larulus in the direction of Lanzi City. Dede and Super Tower King Dede shook hands with each other, hugged each other, and then waved goodbye. At the same time, the gourmet fans lined up neatly with pots and spatulas to bid farewell to the King Dede of their food kingdom. This trip to Tibet. Yang Yu prepared a map of Sichuan province in his hand. After getting on the train to Sichuan province, he spread it out and placed it on the table of the train. Tijipai and the little dream monster slowly fell asleep under the smooth train. The mini dragon poked its head out of the backpack placed by Yang Yu, its amethyst-colored eyes staring straight at the food spread out on the table. The map of Sichuan province seems to be looking for something. Let's stop in western Sichuan first and prepare some work for entering Tibet, and then move on, Yang Yu said slowly. Well, brother, I will listen to your arrangement, Yang Xiao nodded repeatedly. In the end, there are less than 10 days until you start the new semester. The time is really not enough. Yang Yu rubbed his temples. On August 31st, Xiao Yu, let's fly back to Hangzhou early, and leave the Potala Palace to me. Brother, are you going to be late for the start of school? Yang Xiao said with a smile, then took out a small towel from his backpack and covered Larula's. It's a little cold in the train. I guess many people will be late. Yang Yu hesitated for a while, then smiled and shook his head. He asked Wenren Fangchen and Hong Kong in the 403 group. Both of them were still catching elves. In order to catch a ghost-type elf, Hong Kong almost cried. In the deep mountains and old forests, and it was still late at night, he encountered a group of dream monsters who came to frighten him in turn. He almost abandoned his tent and ran away alone. The situation at Lao Wen's place was not as easy as Yang Yu imagined, and it was even comparable to the situation at Hong Kong's place. In order to capture a suitable wild elf, Wenren Fangchen didn't know how long he had been squatting in one spot. He almost turned into a scarecrow with no emotion. If it weren't for the cami turtle wearing a pair of masks for him under the sun sunglasses, I guess people have almost forgotten what they are doing here. If this rate continues, 403 will all be late for the start of the new semester. Aha! Yang Yu and Yang Xiao saw the mini dragon hanging its head on the edge of the map, motionless, just sticking to it. Yang Yu tilted his head and took a look, his expression suddenly enlightened. It turns out that famous snacks from some regions are also introduced on the edge of this map. Mini Dragon has long been interested in these delicacies from Sichuan province. When you arrive in Sichuan province, you have to eat the hot pot here, but if you eat hot pot in the summer, you will be too hot to death. Yang Yu lifted the mini dragon's head from the edge of the map. Although the mini dragon was a little reluctant, it can also use its head to stick to other places on the map with snack introductions. This, only children make choices, the mini dragon wants them all. Come one place at a time, don't rush. Yang Yu also had some thoughts in his heart. As a trainer, doesn't he have to travel all over the country? Anyway, is there a fire-type gym in Chuangqing City? A new map has opened. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Qiangxiao. Chapter 573. August in Chuangqing City. The mini-tool dragon finally comes in handy. After hanging the cooling water bag around Yang Xiao's neck and moving the cooling water bag, even the little dream demon who used Yang Yu's hair as a nest ran to the mini dragon and sat side by side with Larula's on the mini dragon's hanging body. It's a bit like a necklace, but a little thick. Fortunately, although the mini dragon is very good at eating, it consumes a huge amount of energy to grow. As the body continues to shed its skin, the weight of the mini dragon is basically maintained at a controllable weight. Unlike the original Salted Fish King and mini dragon, who probably have the enviable physique of not getting fat no matter how much they eat, the Salted Fish King can gain weight even if he drinks water. The mini dragon has just shed its skin and is soft, a bit like tofu. In the final analysis, its properties are very similar to those of cats, as they are both made of water. Brother, the mini dragon is so comfortable to wear around your neck like this. Yang Xiao lowered his head and looked at the body of the mini dragon hanging like a cradle. The little dream monster and Larulus were as if they were sitting in her arms. But Yang Xiao didn't hug it with his hands. As long as they carefully held the mini dragon, it wouldn't fall down. Yang Yu held an umbrella and said with a smile, "Well, after eating so much ice cream, it must have some cooling effect to prevent heat stroke, right?" Shuangqing in Sichuan province is not an ordinary place to be hot. Compared with the Demon City, the temperature is even worse. It is like a big furnace. Walking out of the station, it felt like arriving in a land of flames, with a gust of hot and stuffy wind coming our way. In this kind of weather, the mini dragon that has been hanging around Yang Xiao's neck looking for delicious food can't bear it for too long. It was very excited at first and had the energy to eat a big meal, but now, stick out your tongue. The heat is bad. The head was so hot that it hung down, and the whole dragon seemed to be shriveled by the sun. Fortunately, Yang Yu found the location of the Elf Alliance in Shuangqing City at this time, and it won't take long for him to have air conditioning to enjoy. Yang Yu supported the mini dragon's head. The little thing had lost its dream like a salted fish. But when Yang Yu and Yang Xiao stepped into the building of the Elf Alliance, the mini dragon, Mum. Resurrection on the spot with full blood. Yang Yu bought 2 bottles of water. At this time, the most common water was like an extremely rare and precious resource. He used the bottle cap to catch a little, and gave it to Little Dream Demon and to Jipai in turn. Yang Xiao used the bottle cap to give it to La Rulus drank. The mini dragons on the side can only line up and circle around Yang Yu. Many people may not believe it. The mini dragon doesn't think about any delicious food at this moment. It only has one thought now, and it just wants to drink water. The little dream monster and Tijipai drank a little, and Yang Yu drank half. At this moment, the mini dragon had raised its head upright and opened its mouth, waiting for Yang Yu to pour it. "Brother, where are you going next?" Yang Xiao said after resting for a while. While Yang Yu was feeding the mini dragon, he could clearly see that when the mini dragon drank water, there seemed to be water fluctuations on his body, moving in the direction of his belly. "Tons, tons, tons. Let's go to the fire element gym. Today we will rest here in Shuangqing. Let's go and eat the hot pot here in the evening." After Yang Yu poured the water, he moved the bottle up and down to make sure that there was no drop left in it. Otherwise the mini dragon will definitely be thinking about the unfinished water. Can't waste it. Wow, it must have clear soup. I see many netizens saying that even if the hot pot here is slightly spicy, it is still very spicy. Yang Xiao was a little nervous. Mum. The mini dragon that was resurrected with full health after drinking water has begun to swell. He's not afraid of the ice cream after eating it for so long, so what else is he afraid of because it's slightly spicy? Okay, then the whole mandarin duck pot will be enough. Also, mini dragon, don't jump into the pot by yourself. I don't want to have a dish called spicy hot pot mini dragon on my dinner plate. Yang Yu, tie the mini dragon to your arm and say harsh words to the mini dragon. Mini dragon has learned from the past. Ha 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 ha. Yang Xiao looked at the "I don't have it, I'm not, don't talk nonsense" expression on the mini dragon's face, which made her laugh. She thought of the mini dragons jumping and taking off to eat ice cream. It's really possible that he could fly in by then. Pot. But it will definitely not be overcooked. Yang Yu's elves are quite happy, and by the way, Yang Yu himself is the same. Dede prepared several trucks of ice cream specially for the Salted Fish King, and fed the Salted Fish King one by one. However, the feeding action is a bit like pushing a cart at a construction site to pour mixed cement, which is a bit too funny. Just like sneaking around in the school arena to eat braised fish with Xiao Xiao on his back, it's a pity that De Mali cannot be summoned freely for the time being, otherwise, the Salted Fish King would like to leave a car for De Mali. When we reach the western Tibet region, the elves will have a lot of freedom. As long as you are not in the city where people live, you can summon the Salted Fish King however you want. The sky and land there are very vast. Cha hot pot. Come to Chahuogo. Zajia's hot pot dish is very good. Feeling the enthusiasm of the taxi driver, Yang Yu and Yang Xiao have now arrived at the door of the Fire Element Gym. Only Yang Yu was a little confused. The people standing outside the Fire Element Gym shouting are all inviting people in to eat hot pot. Why do you feel that they have nothing to do with the Fire Element Gym? Brother. Yang Xiao whispered weakly to the side, his eyes still glancing, as if he didn't want to see the scene in front of him. Are we being deceived? How could this be, a fire gymnasium? Yang Xiao felt that what he said was not enough, so he quickly added, Brother, is this place a hot pot restaurant called the Fire Element Gym? Not only did Yang Yu not feel that what Yang Xiao said was wrong, but he felt that what he said was quite right. The building in front of you. Why the hell is it just a hot pot? The top is still on fire from time to time. Is this a gym? Stop making trouble. Yang Yu pulled Yang Xiao a few steps back, turned on his phone and quickly searched for what the specific building of the fire gym looked like. To be honest, the super type gym and the ghost type gym in the Magic City are extremely impressive. There are also two towers, the super tower and the ghost tower. Whether it is during the day or at night, it is definitely the place. An iconic landscape in the magical city. Why did you arrive at the fire gym and just? It's really here. Yang Yu felt that he had to refresh his understanding of the gym. Gyms in the real world of elves? But there are different characteristics from place to place. No doubt. This fire gym hot pot restaurant is really a fire gym. Tai immortal. Yang Yu glanced inside the gym door and suddenly his eyelids twitched. There is a pig inside. No, it's King Yanwu. King Yanwu also carries a pot man on his back. Brother? Who is Tai immortal? Yang Xiao asked in confusion. What King Yanwu was carrying was not an adult, but a child, but this child also looked a bit strong. The little kid riding the pig like the wind. Who is that kid? Yang Yu pointed to the little chubby boy playing with King Yanwu inside, and asked the guy who was soliciting customers at the hot pot restaurant at the door. The son of our hot pot restaurant owner. The fire gym leader's kid looks like he has something. Asking for votes. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huo Shao. Chapter 574. King Yanwu is an elf that looks like a wild boar standing on two legs. The two sharp fangs look very ferocious. Whether it is his arms or his strong and powerful body, he looks like he is wearing a black fighting suit. If you hold a 9-tooth rake in your hand, you can play the role of Zubeiji. The rough appearance also does not hide the rough feelings inside. There is no doubt that King Yanwu is helping his owner take care of the children. Children in the real world of elves will have a more interesting childhood. If the adults are busy, then the children can play with their parents' elves. The elves will protect them. Humph. Yanwu Dynasty, who was carrying a chubby boy on his shoulders, glanced in the direction of the door, and his eyes paused on Yang Yu for a moment. Big Piggy, let's go quickly, Dad is calling us to eat. The sound of little chubby little teeth falling out was a little cute in this open space. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao looked back when they saw King Yanwu and Xiao Pangdun entering the door of the hot pot restaurant. What a big King Yanwu! Yang Xiao quickly remembered some data about King Yanwu. This King Yanwu was larger than the average one. Yang Yu nodded. King Yanwu, whose strength exceeds the gym level, should be the main elf of the fire gym leader. Hey! This little brother is right. You too, why don't you go to a small shop and have a seat at the Shuangqing hot pot, which is absolutely delicious. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao looked a little weird. The guys at the door of the fire gym were so enthusiastic. However, they originally planned to eat hot pot after finding the fire gym. Now it seems that they are like a dragon. Business is coming. You two, please come inside. Yang Yu silently looked at the scene in the hot pot shop, extremely doubting whether the fire gym leader had transformed the fire gym into what it is now. There were many small fire dragons and many small fires serving food inside. Monkey, even if it is summer, there is still no intention to turn on the air conditioning in the store. However, it seems that the temperature is not very high. The fire breath in the air seems to have been taken away, and the environment is very comfortable. Brother, it's the demon fire red fox. Yang Yu nodded, and some of the mysteries in his heart were solved. It turned out that there was a demon fire red fox, the final evolution of the fire fox, in the store, and there was even more than one. There were probably on every floor of the loft-like store. Yang Yu just raised his head slightly and saw two more demon fire red foxes. Figure. Using superpowers to draw out the fire in the store, and at the same time increasing control over the flames, this is a kind of practice. Boy, are you new customers here for the first time? A friendly-looking guy came over. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao nodded at the same time. I wonder if you two have trainer badges certified by the Alliance. Speaking of this, Yang Yu had forgotten where he had lost it, and he hadn't gone to the Elf Alliance to get certification for a long time, and he still held the badge of a high-level trainer. Brother, is there anything special here? Yang Yu turned over the entire skull bag to look for it. ZZZ's mini dragon, which was recharging its energy in the skull bag, fell to the ground and looked up and down in confusion. Fortunately, at this moment, it smelled when I arrived at the hot pot restaurant. My heart was filled with the fragrant smell. Wake it up as soon as something delicious comes, what a good person. When the mini dragon fell out of the backpack, the clerk's scalp went numb. He couldn't believe his eyes. Are mini dragons now reduced to being carried in backpacks? Such a precious and cute little elf, which trainer wouldn't hold it in the palm of his hand for fear of breaking it? A mini dragon, wait, is it really a mini dragon? Found it? Yang Yu's eyes lit up when the badge happened to fall on the mini dragon's body. The mini dragon used its big white nose to sniff it and found that it didn't look like food, so it lost interest. Picked it up and handed it to the guy at the hot pot restaurant in the gym. The little brother calmed down a little, and the mini dragon appeared in front of him in this posture. It always felt a little weird, just like the fish dropped to the ground when making fish fillets in the kitchen. The first, second, and third floors of the store are open to the public. If you have the advanced trainer badge, you can go to the fourth floor. If you want to reach higher floors, you need a higher level trainer certified by the Elf Alliance. While the little brother was talking, he looked at the mini dragon on the ground from time to time, and even secretly extended his hand to say hello. Yang Xiao saw this and thought that this hot pot restaurant in the fire gym was quite interesting. However, there is no one in the eyes of the mini dragon. Sometimes, let alone the trainer Yang Yu, just like when Yang Yu made the little dream demon wear an onion ring on his finger, the mini dragon directly put Yang Yu's finger on his finger. He's holding it all in his mouth. If he gets more ruthless, he'll even want to eat his own tail, which has been burnt by electricity. That's right, I only have the high-level badge in my hand now. If I still want to go to a higher floor, then let's have an elf battle that explodes as gorgeously as flames. At this moment, a trainer with a fluttery hairstyle walked out from behind him. He already held a black and yellow high-end ball in his right hand. At the same time, he also held a thick menu in the waist of his left arm. Sigma. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao never expected that such a normal-looking hot pot restaurant would actually operate like this. Could there be a fight in this restaurant? What surprised Yang Yu even more was what was happening behind him. At this time, some customers who were already sitting on their seats and cooking food were not even afraid of the elf battle in the store. Instead, they were looking in the direction of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao with great interest. Brother, do you really want to fight? Yang Xiao asked in a low voice. She definitely wouldn't worry about her brother Yang Yu, but he was playing an elf battle in a hot pot restaurant, and subconsciously she felt it was a bit rude. You're already here, Why don't you go to the top and have a look? Yang Yu felt that the blood all over his body was boiling instantly like the unique atmosphere in this hot pot restaurant. This is different from the feeling when challenging the resident trainers in the super gym and ghost gym. It is like suddenly wanting to have a good fight. The fire gym is really interesting. So ambitious. I like the customers who come to our hot pot restaurant for the first time, but it seems a bit loud to want to get to the top. The demon fire red fox. Show it to the battlefield. Hey dash. An incredible visual change seemed to appear before Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. The demonic red fox, which seemed to be practicing in the middle of the hot pot restaurant, actually used superpowers to create visual illusions for Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. Is this any ordinary hot pot restaurant? When the demon fire red fox lost all its superpowers, all the hot pots in the entire store seemed to burst into flames without harming the guests of the hot pot restaurant at all. Here. It's clearly a fire gym. The real scene in a hot pot restaurant. In fact, it is a loft next to the huge battlefield. The trainer holds a menu in one hand and a high-level ball in the other. There is a nameplate on his chest. Xiaoting. Resident trainer at the fire gym and part-time waiter at a hot pot restaurant. Xiaoting Guokyo, come on. Fight coolly. On the attic of the hot pot restaurant, you can see a little fat man on the railing, holding a bowl and taking big bites of rice, while shouting loudly down. Little fatty, have you finished your summer homework? Yang Yu looked up with a smile and shouted the same thing. I only saw the little fat paper slowing down in his eating movements. Suddenly, the rice in the bowl no longer smells good. Even, I want to cry. At this time, Xiaoting, who was holding the elf ball, twitched the corners of his mouth. The customer in front of him seemed a little naughty. But when it comes to homework, the library owner seems to have asked him to help look at the summer homework for that little fat paper when he is free. The summer vacation is about to end, and what should I do if I have to hand in my summer homework when school starts? Hiss. Forget it, let's finish this elf battle first. Please. Xiaoting stretched out his hand and made an invitation gesture. Asking for votes.